Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm going to talk about something today that you may or may not be familiar with. It's something that happened recently at the Commonwealth Games opening ceremony that was held on July 28th, 2022. This event kicked off the 22nd multinational sporting competition that has occurred every 4 years since 1930. However, it was this year's event in Birmingham, England that shows just how very close we are to the Lord's return. The participants and creators of this quote-unquote entertainment for the opening ceremonies were just so blatantly and boldly defying God and Christianity in general. This celebration was a total mockery of all that is holy and in-your-face Baal worship. As the world watched, 72 nations from around the globe participated in a blasphemous festival, supposedly promoting unity and peace, but was just totally satanic to the core. As audiences looked on, rainbow puffs of smoke and music from Black Sabbath lead guitarists introduced us to these mystical crystals or shards that are fallen stars from the heavens that fell to earth and inexplicably start gathering people together. At this point, you may or may not realize the symbolism of this, but it later becomes much clearer. As biblical scholars know, stars are another term for angels, and fallen stars are the devil and the evil angels that were cast down to earth. Some people are shown actually praying to these supernatural crystals, which cause objects and houses to levitate. And I don't know about you, but if my stuff starts floating around the room, I don't think I'm going to have a smile on my face and be all calm and happy about it like these people are. They're even embracing it. These people from around the world are then brought to this growing tower that maybe is supposed to be a reference to the Tower of Babel. But it's here that they revel in dance and music among these oddly formed creatures that look like they were created from some hallucinogenic-induced dream while they're making the symbol of horns on their heads. And then suddenly this raging mechanical bull is brought into the arena. This red-eyed beast, as the show's own narrator describes it, is over 33 feet tall and is going to be permanently situated in the city after the event. And it's the introduction of this creature that truly begins the biggest in-your-face God that I have ever seen on public display by such a large number of people. Because you have to remember that there were over 5,000 participants for this sporting event, not to mention the vast number of performers and stadium attendees. So this giant red bull enters the stage, and then all the crazy partiers flee, and the only ones that keep their calm are this group that physically have these fallen stars, who have named themselves Dreamers. Now here's what I find really interesting. If you turn to Jude 1, 8 through 11, Jude is talking about a prophecy of the end times where he names a very specific group, Dreamers, and he says, "Likewise, these filthy dreamers, woe unto them, for they have gone the way of Cain and ran greedily after the errors of Balaam for reward." 2 Peter 2:15, also speaking of the end times people, says that the lost have forsaken the right way and have gone astray, following the way of Balaam, who loved the wages of unrighteousness. So what was the way of Balaam and his unrighteousness? Go to Numbers 22:41 and 23:1 for the answer. Balak took Balaam and brought him to the high places of Baal, and Balaam said unto Balak, "Build me here 7 altars." Balaam, even though he knew the true God and God had spoke to him, was also a Baal worshiper. Who was Baal? Baal was the Canaanite god that the Israelites just couldn't seem to shake. He pops up in history under many different names, including Moloch and Belus and Zeus, and his symbols were the lightning bolt, a ram, and most popularly, you guessed it, a bull. Baal's most famous association is a bull. Bulls appear throughout the world as sacred in many cultures, from Egypt to India and the Sumerians to the Minoans. It was a bull calf, if you'll recall, that the Israelites were worshiping when Moses was on the mount receiving the written 10 Commandments that God had literally just spoken to them. The creator of the bull that starred in this satanic production said that it was, quote, the spirit of Birmingham, and that he wanted to, quote, create an image revealed as a creature of light. 1. Guardian spirit? Really? And 2, he flat out says he wanted to create an image. This is entirely against the second commandment. And just like the woman in Revelation 17:5, the forehead of this bull has writing on it with victim names and messages of abominations. And these abominations include the Birmingham Six and the Birmingham slave trade, and phrases such as chronic hunger combined tighter than iron link, and harder people mistake humble for weakness, whatever that's supposed to mean. If that wasn't bad enough, as a woman with a fallen star crystal approaches the bull, the show's narrator says that the quote-unquote dreamers are pleading with the bull beast to save and change him as the actors bow and salute the statue, hoping for its redemption. The Bible says, will ye plead for Baal? Will ye save him? And here they are, literally pleading for Baal's salvation. And they are not done, folks. This red beast allows a woman who is dressed in white and purple to climb aboard, and there she sits, riding him in the midst of the arena. Revelation 17:3, anyone? Then you see a resemblance to Revelation chapter 16, verses 13 through 14, with the air arrival of 2 more women. Symbolically, now we've got 3 unclean spirits like frogs, all sitting down with the beast. Then these 2 new arrivals with skirts billowing like large wings rise up from the beast with a headpiece between them and fly away, another possible biblical slight on Zechariah 5:9. As all of this is going on, the other dreamers and people who fled return, and they form a circle around the beast, and at another point a square, and after previously saluting it, they're now bowing and kneeling and worshiping it, while the fallen star holders end up performing some ritual waving with their glowing shards and bowing. The narrator, she's in all of this spectacle, calling it a symbol of light and peace and unity, and meanwhile, anybody with even the slightest biblical knowledge can see the parallels. It is a display such as this that just reveals how close we actually are to Christ's return. He tells us in Isaiah 3:9 that they will declare their sin as Sodom and hide it not. And in 2 Timothy 3 and 2 Peter 2 and 3, we're told that the end times people will be blasphemers, they'll be scoffers, they'll walk in their own lust, they'll deny him, they'll riot for fun, they'll follow Baal, they'll speak about things that they don't understand, they'll go whichever way the wind blows. And Jesus himself said that it would be like in the days of Noah and Lot, when people were just pure evil and disregarded his laws completely. While we know that this skit is just a mockery of the Beast of Revelation, it does stand as a reminder of what is to shortly happen. We just need to pray for the Lord's guidance and study so that we are not deceived by fake claims of symbols of light and peace and wind up welcoming the beast with open arms like they appear to have done at this event.